Hi, my name is Amber, and I decided to create videos about my road to recovery from anorexia. I am almost 23 years old. My birthday is in about a month. And I have been dealing with anorexia for almost 9 years. I've dealt with anxiety my entire life, and I've dealt with body image for about 13 years now. Last August, I finally went and saw a therapist for the eating disorder, the anorexia, and I had an evaluation done at the Center for Change in Orem, Utah, where I was told that I needed to be admitted at an inpatient level, and that was kind of what started my road to recovery. We got into the insurance stuff, and my insurance would cover absolutely nothing. So I ended up at a place they call Uni. It's up at the University of Utah, and they say that they specialize in eating disorders, but they really don't. I lasted all of about 20 minutes there. They had put me on a floor with people with bipolar and schizophrenia that had severe psychological disorders, and they put me on that floor because of my weight. And I went to my mom and said, "There's no way that you can leave me here." So she brought me home, and I started going to a 12 steps group, Eating Disorders Anonymous. And then I found a dietitian and a therapist. I went to the therapist first. Her name is Cheryl, and I absolutely love her. She is my favorite. She's the fourth therapist that I've had, but she's the first one that's dealt with the eating disorder. My other three therapists were just for anxiety. I'd also previously gone to a psychiatrist and was prescribed new medication. I am now on Lexapro. I was on Celexa, but Celexa wasn't really cutting it for me. So now I am on Lexapro, and I take Klonopin as well for panic attacks. So I went and saw Cheryl, and from the first time that I met her, I knew that she was gonna be the one to really help me, I guess. She suggested that I go see a dietitian, so I got an appointment with a dietitian at the Center for Change, and we started down the road to recovery, and it was kind of an up and down thing. And around Christmas, so December of 2012, I ended up in the emergency room because of abdominal pain, where they thought that it was ulcers or my gallbladder. So after several months and several different tests, we found out that it wasn't my gallbladder and I didn't have ulcers. But I do have a immunodeficiency that can cause upper respiratory infections, or make you more susceptible to upper respiratory infections, and can also cause autoimmune disorders like celiac, and that's what was causing all my stomach problems. So technically I have not been diagnosed with celiac, but I am on a gluten-free diet. So in February, when I went and saw one of the doctors, they gave me a paper that had my weight on it, and anybody that's been through any kind of eating disorder treatment knows that you cannot know your weight. And I feel like ever since then it's just been like a spiral down. I began engaging in self-harm in April of 2013, and more secrecy, more deception. And I started to pick things up. I went to Disneyland with my sister for a week, and that was a little bit rocky, but it was okay. And then I sneeze. Had one really, really good week. I had an experience that helped me have a better connection with my higher power, which is really important with the 12 steps. And that is something that I found very, very helpful, is my 12 steps. Working the 12 steps and going to the group, because being with girls that are other people that are dealing with the same things you are makes it a little bit easier. Anyway, so I had this experience that had helped me gain a better relationship with my higher power and to be able to trust more, because that's a huge thing that I deal with, is trust. And so for a whole week I had done so well. I was focusing on getting meals in, and I was just doing really well. And then my dietitian just kind of shot me down a little bit, I felt like. And that was something I kind of found the whole time I was seeing my dietitian, that there was never any praise. It was never good enough. No matter how hard I tried, I needed to be doing something else or something more. And I'm one of those people that you have to praise. And it was hard because I would go to my therapist, and she, it's like I've won an Emmy for every little thing I do. And that's what I need. But my dietitian was not like that. And so after talking with my parents and with my therapist, we decided to change dietitians. And so last week, I met with my new dietitian. Her name's Rebecca. And my therapist kind of works for the center for change. I'm not quite sure how that works. But she teaches a class there, and she's kind of like, I don't know, she's affiliated with the center. And then my dietitian works for the Center for Change. But the last 2 weeks were super spiral down, lots of restricting, exercising, constantly weighing myself, body checking, and like every behavior I could have, I had. And so my therapist took me on a tour of the center, and it's kind of pushing doing the inpatient, but where my insurance doesn't cover anything, my parents don't have the money for that, and so it's never been a real threat. Going on that tour was kind of a shock, I guess. It just freaked me out. And when I got home, I talked to my mom about it, and there was just a lot of emotions. And that night, I couldn't sleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning before I finally fell asleep, because I was so stressed and my anxiety was through the roof, and I couldn't function, pretty much. So I had gotten on the Center for Change's website, and one of the treatments that they do is short-term stabilization, and that's where you go anywhere from 1 week to 4 weeks as inpatient, and they just stabilize you medically. So that was a cheaper option, and so I got another assessment on the 14th of June. Today is the 16th, so 2 days ago I had another assessment done, and they will only take me as an inpatient. They won't take me as residential or as a day patient or as intensive outpatient, because I'm apparently a liability. And so I'd come up with this plan so that I didn't have to do inpatient. And my parents are really on board with it. It just is like, I can't eat by myself. I can't isolate. We've covered the bathroom mirror. All the scales in the house are gone because I found the scale that was hidden from me. I need to attend extra groups that they do at the center. So just lots of things that will help me with my recovery, but I'm kind of going back and forth between whether I should do inpatient or not. And part of my problem with inpatient is the money, for sure, and because I can't have my same therapist. if I go inpatient, and that is hard for me because I have a really good connection with my therapist. I really, really, really like her. And so right now I'm just kind of hanging in the balance, trying to figure out what to do. I have an appointment with my therapist tomorrow morning, so we'll see what happens. And this weekend has been a very rough, very emotional weekend because today is Father's Day, which means lots of food-related stuff. And then yesterday was my nephew's birthday, so again, more food-related stuff. And it's just been like one thing after the other, and today's just been a very, very stressful day. Out of the last 5 days, today was the hardest day to eat. Like, to sit down at breakfast, I had a panic attack, and I had a panic attack at lunch, and I had a panic attack at dinner. And so something has got to change. So I'm gonna hopefully keep making videos, keep people posted. This is just kind of helping me sort through my thoughts and figure out what is best for me. So for anybody who happens to see this, thank you, and I hope you keep watching.